Howya, my internet family, and welcome back for another makeup and story time. And I'm starting this off makeup free to find the kind of vulnerability that Bradley Cooper had to bring out in Lady Gaga. When beginning his directorial debut, A Star is Born, starring Lady Gaga, he wiped her makeup off with a makeup wipe to help her transform from the Lady Gaga that we all know and love into the character of Ali. In this video I'm going to be doing my makeup. I'm going to start off doing things now and I'll just have on the screen what I'm using, but I'm going to be exclusively just talking about why I love A Star is Born so much and why I've not stopped banging on about it on my social media in my last monthly vlog. Here is some actual footage of me listening to the soundtrack. This is what it does to me. It breaks me into pieces. Now, anyone who knows me will tell you that I'm a very, very emotional person, especially when I watch films. I adore movies, I adore going to the cinema, and I'm very responsive, and crying is certainly not unusual for me. However, there's very few movies that elicit this kind of emotional response from me, and I really want to dive into why this gets me so much, and I've not been able to stop thinking about it at all, and I cannot stop singing the songs. I'm off the deep end, watch as I dive in, I'll never meet the ground. Movies are so healing to me, and this particular one had tears rolling down my face throughout the whole thing. I adore the two main actors so much and their previous work. I first fell in love with Bradley Cooper when he starred in Silver Linings Playbook alongside Jennifer Lawrence, and Lady Gaga, I've just loved her for such a long time, especially when I saw her in American Horror Story. I was like, damn, this bitch can act. This video will contain some spoilers, and I just urge you to go and see the film if you haven't already seen it, and if you have, please comment down below and talk to me about this movie and your thoughts, because I just can't stop talking about this. This movie is actually a remake. It is the fourth version of A Star is Born, and this franchise, or whatever you'll call it, is 81 years old now, but they're all quite different with a generally similar plot, and I've gone back and watched the others. This is by far my favourite, the new one, directed by Bradley Cooper. It has the kind of plot and story arc that really gets me. Human versus self. It explores trauma and addiction and suicide, things that brush with so many of our lives nowadays. It's this magical combination of a rags to riches story with a tragedy. And oh god, the themes, like so many of the themes are relevant to me. It explores love and what it really means to be in love. Like it's one of those love stories where, you know, there's no infidelity. They're two people who are genuinely in love, and it explores what it means to be committed to one person. As you guys know, I stood by my partner for 1.5 years while he trained to be a pilot, and I was kind of half living over in Spain, and then I was living fully over with him so I could be with him and support him, and you know, it goes into a lot of that kind of stuff, and it really at the heart of the movie is this internal battle that Jackson experiences, the main character. I'll go into that, but yeah, like mental health, death and loss and grief, fame and life in the spotlight. You know, like, I know I'm not what you'd consider a celebrity or whatever, but I have had a following online for 5 years, and I've experienced, you know, doing meetups with hundreds of people, doing book signings. I made my first short film last year that won an award because I'm so passionate about film, and just like I've dabbled with fame, and I've kind of seen how it can make you feel like you have to change yourself. I remember for a long time not feeling good enough, which as well I relate to with the main character of Ali. I've also witnessed the downfalls of some people who've found fame. One person I dated who had 16 million YouTube subscribers and had a terrible fall from up here, you know, and just kind of witnessing addiction. It explores the struggles of being an artist and low self-esteem, and A Star is Born is a teeny little bit like Cinderella, except the leading man is not only the prince who marries the woman, he is also the fairy godmother who gives the woman her whole makeover, and he's also essentially the wicked stepmother who must be destroyed so the woman can live happily ever after. It's an incredible story. It is about a super famous and successful rock star who is, you know, aging, so the sun is setting on his career, but he's still doing amazingly well and selling out arenas. One night after a gig, he's searching for more booze. He is an alcoholic, and he stumbles into this drag bar and plucks Lady Gaga's character Ali out of obscurity. He sees her sing La Vie en Rose, and actually this mirrors real life. Bradley saw Lady Gaga perform La Vie en Rose at a cancer function, I think, and was just like blown away. And I think that led to him then asking her could he go over to her house, and you know, the two of them are Italian, and they were like, I've been looking into all of the behind the scenes, I've learned so many facts about this movie, but the two of them were just like eating pasta and singing together and laughing together, and that's kind of where this whole film began, was with her. In the movie, he sees this raw talent in Ali, this girl who is an incredibly talented songwriter who is stuck singing other people's songs, you know, and he wants the world to hear what she has to say. He says something amazing in the film about talent and how so many people have talent, but there are very few people who have something to say in a way that makes people want to listen to them. So yeah, they start to fall in love. Ali kind of accepts his attention with a bit of weariness, but she's also like super infatuated back with him. She's weary because he is a drunk, and you know, he's famous, and her dad in the movie has always pushed her to be famous, despite like agents and managers telling her that her nose is too big and things like that. So I think she kind of is quite depressed at the beginning and feels like such a letdown, and she has no kind of focus, or she's working in a job she doesn't like. Anyway, Jackson, who's played by Bradley Cooper, he like pushes her to stardom. He drags her up on stage with him, and all the songs in this movie are performed live. Like, just too bloody incredible, especially because Bradley Cooper wasn't a musician before this movie. And I know Lady Gaga has done acting and stuff, but this is her first movie, and this is his first time being a musician, and he totally pulled off playing a rock star. Gaga said herself she believes that he's the only actor in the world who could properly portray a rock star, because it's something that like he really did have to throw himself into full force to understand what that's like. It's so realistic and believable. But anyway, yeah, he brings her on stage with him at one of his gigs, which was a real concert that they kind of hijacked to film the scene, and he wants to perform with her a song that she wrote. And you know, I went into this movie with very low expectations. I didn't really expect to be blown away by such a scene, because it sounds very cheesy. It's just like, oh, well, in real life, would that ever happen? And like, wouldn't that performance just go to absolute shit? It would go tits up, and you just have this kind of in your head. But it blew me away. That's kind of where the tears began, right? Their love starts to grow, and her star starts to rise, and then she begins to be kind of a little bit manipulated by this British manager who I feel like is kind of reminiscent of Simon Cowell, that kind of type, you know, and he has this very set image of what he wants her to be, because he's like, this is what works, we need background dancers, you need to be more this and more this. So she kind of starts to go along with that, and that begins coming between her and Bradley. And you know, also he starts to feel jealousy, and like, I've been there, I've been dating people, and you know, I'm in certain situations or whatever. It's just like, it was very realistic. I felt like the fight scenes and stuff between them, while their like relationship is full of love at the core, all couples argue and jealousy is very common. I thought the way they handled that was really amazing. It just really rang true. And in the later scenes, Bradley Cooper's character Jackson is struggling with sobriety. You know, he wants to be sober and be there for Ali and her success, and kind of help her and go on this roller coaster with her, but he's just really struggling with issues from his past, from his childhood. And there's quite a lot of foreshadowing in the movie, which is why I cannot wait to go and see it again and again, and I'm just dying to be able to buy this movie because it's geniusly done. There's reference to suicide and stuff earlier in the film. Because yes, A Star is Born is a tragedy. I don't want to say too much. The film has been out for quite a long time now, and I just can't contain all these thoughts. So Jackson is experiencing tinnitus, like hearing loss. Doesn't like jerk your tears, he eases them out of your face until you suddenly realise that you are a sobbing mess in the cinema. Oh my god, he was amazing. Those big, beautiful blue eyes just communicate so much. Like, this performance came from his soul. Obviously, a huge reason why I adore this film is because the music is so damn incredible. Like, the songs are really big and emotive and classic. They better be nominated for Oscars. The harmonizing and the power of the lyrics, and like, oh god, can you tell I'm in love? Can you tell I'm obsessed? One thing that I felt really came across in this movie is how strongly people nowadays think it's their right to be famous, and then also how much famous people sneer at this kind of belief that people have. One running joke in the film is Ali's father keeps insisting that he is an incredible singer and he's better than Frank Sinatra, you know. But then, you know, Jackson tells Ali that loads of people have talent, but only some people have something to say. This duality that exists in the movie is very interesting, because the whole movie kind of seems to be saying that, you know, anyone talented can be famous if they're plucked from obscurity by a famous rock star and dragged on stage in front of thousands of people. The fantasy of A Star is Born kind of relies on that illusion, you know, that, oh, it could be any one of us if only for the right circumstances. But then also the pillars that really hold up the story and this film kind of depend on our belief that celebrities are special and are gifted and they're up here and, you know, that they're stars. I think it's very, very relevant to our generation. It really is. And like, yeah, that whole concept that a star is born and then they die and then another is born, it's just... I also love that this film is full of Easter eggs. There's a homage to Judy Garland at the beginning because she played the starring role in A Star is Born in 1954. She was actually nominated for an Oscar, and I just really hope Gaga is as well. Gaga hums Somewhere Over the Rainbow, and it's just, oh. Gaga performed in drag bars in the early days of her career. And in the movie, obviously, the meet cute happens in a drag bar. Gaga is such a massive gay icon, like, and she acknowledges this a lot. That was super special. And then eyebrows, you know, like the scene with the super skinny eyebrows when she's performing La Vie en Rose. Eyebrows are a big part of all of the Star is Born movies. Also face touching, and in this new one, the face touching kind of focuses on Lady Gaga's nose, which the character feels insecure about, but also Lady Gaga admitted to insecurity around her nose. She quoted, "When my character talks about how ugly she feels, that was real. I'm so insecure. I like to preach, but I don't always practice what I preach." And how fucking relatable is that? My fucking Jesus. I love this movie. I love everyone involved. I just... Also, the dog that the couple adopt in the movie is actually Bradley Cooper's real dog, which is just adorable. The line, "I just wanted to take another look at you," that's quite relevant in all of the films. Kind of marks that central love story. And man, the real life chemistry just transcends the screen. If you follow me for a long time, you'll know that I am a big fan of musicals and films that kind of centre around music, like La La Land, Les Miserables, Phantom of the Opera. I love me a good Disney, but like, I felt like with this it's quite different, sort of similarly to La La Land, which deals with a few similar themes and stuff. In A Star is Born, the music is its own character. It really is. Like, it's not like a film where there's just acting and then a song and then some more acting. The songs are really geniusly interwoven into everything. Some parts really connected to me very personally. I think the final song got to me, and it, you know, it's not just because it's grief and that there's a suicide and stuff like that. I think a lot of us who have dealt with really difficult breakups, either difficult for us or difficult for the other person, the song will tear you to shreds. Really, truly will. I found my long-term breakup from my 6-year relationship extremely difficult, and some of the words from that song were spoken to me, made it incredibly hard to let go. And, you know, in the situation in the film, love could not heal Jackson. Her love and her existence is not what led to his demise or led to his death. It just couldn't prevent the inevitable for him. He was going down that road for a very long time, and it's heartbreaking. I think, is it Me Before You? Is that the movie where the guy is in a wheelchair and, you know, it's this wonderful, beautiful love story, and he still at the end does the thing, and it's terribly upsetting, and it's very, very common. Suicide rates among men is such a massive issue that we all have to deal with, you know, and that needs to begin with allowing men to feel comfortable in opening up about their difficulties and their issues, and helping them to turn to other people for support rather than substance abuse. And fuck, it really got me, you know. And it kind of, you know, the whole situation with Ariana Grande and Mac Miller, he committed suicide and a lot of people were blaming her, saying she could have done more to help and stuff like that. And it blows my mind that people still don't understand that no one's gonna kill themselves just because of another person. It's because of an underlying emptiness and feeling of being lost and a feeling that the world would be better without you, which is never ever true. And then in the final song, when she's kind of singing this song that he wrote to her at this event to celebrate his life and his work, and she introduces herself for the first time as Ali Main, taking his surname because they got married. And even the way he proposed to her in the film is very reminiscent of the way Thomas proposed to me. I'll go into that at a future time. I'm enjoying our unofficial engagement time, you know? Everyone in our lives knows we're absolutely crazy about each other and we can't wait to get married and have babies and all that. Like, everyone knows that. We just don't go around talking about it. I don't even know why I'm saying it now. It's just that part in the movie. You'll understand when I tell you the story, the full story. So stick around for that. If you're not subscribed, subscribe and like and blah, blah, blah. Yeah, just so many things in this film. Like her kind of changing up her music style to try and appeal more and stuff. Something I totally experienced in my time on YouTube. Oh, the unveiling of her new red hair. Like, you guys all know I did a red hair transformation like this year. I've been all kinds of shades of red in the meantime, but like this is literally like I went back to a type of like a reddish balayage right after I saw the film, because I was all like, oh no, I'll be brunette for a while, you know. Nah, this is where I'm at right now. But yeah, if you saw the movie and enjoyed it, please talk to me in the comments. Just please, I'm going to read every single comment that you leave. Anything new or any new perspective you have on this film, share it. Any critiques you have. Like, the one critique that I have as a film lover and as someone who's very interested in being involved with film production in the future and has dabbled in film production, I think the passing of time was my biggest issue with the movie, because there was just certain parts where you didn't really know how much time had gone by. Like, it wasn't very seamless. It all felt like it was in the same scene but it was like months had gone by kind of thing. So like, I felt like that was the only thing that I was aware of, but other than that, I didn't feel like I was watching an actor pretend to be a musician or a rock star pop icon pretending to be someone who's not already that. Do you know what I mean? It was just so masterfully done, and for him to have come out with this as his first film is astonishing. Like, he's such a talented man. I think he's around 40, but just watch out for Bradley fucking Cooper, because he is just dynamite. So yeah, if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. Really appreciate your thumbs ups. Really helps out my channel, and it also lets me know what kind of content you guys want to see from me. Aside from the comment section, it's the easiest way to communicate with me and to tell YouTube what you'd like to see more of in your homepage and all that. So yeah, thank you so much for watching, and if you'd like more film related videos, definitely let me know, and I'll see you regardless of what it is in my next video. Mwah. Bye loves.